SQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. A lot going on, and most of it's happening in the Bronx tonight as the Yankees try to survive. They're down 2-0 in the best-of-5 ALDS. The Blue Jays are up 2-0, looking to close it out. And statistically, you would be led to believe that that would be the way it would go. So let's take a look at the numbers. Now, we've moved some guests around today because we realize the story is the Yankees, not so much professional football right now, because what we're seeing in New York is far from professional football. The Giants are going to play on Thursday against the Eagles. That'll probably make them 1-5. The Jets are going to play the Broncos in England on Sunday. That will make them probably 0-6. So when you say the word professional, I guess you have to put air quotes around it. Let's talk about the Yankees and the Blue Jays. So here we go. I wrote these numbers down. The past 18 times that a team had a 2-0 lead, the team won with the lead 17 times in the series. And that includes 11 of them ending in a sweep. So those numbers are not good at all. Now, there have been 90 times in a best-of-5 series that a team has gone up 2-0. Only 10 times has a team trailing come back to win the series. The most recent one being the New York Yankees in 2017, and that was against the Cleveland then Indians. Now, before you roll your eyes at that and go, well, that's the Indians, remember one thing. The year before, the Indians were in the World Series and should have won the World Series against the Cubs, and they didn't. They were leading before the rain delay. So that was a really good Cleveland team that the Yankees came back against. But it's hard to make sense of what that means this time around, because there's only one player on that team that's still active. And that's Aaron Judge. That's the only player that's active. The only one. So do you take anything of it? No, you take the fact that it can be done. It can be done. Will it be done? We shall see. The odds aren't great. I just gave you the odds. They're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. But the way the Yankees have to do it is they can't think about they have to win 3 in a row. They can't. They have to worry about tonight. Then they have to worry about tomorrow night if they win tonight. And then somehow they've got to conquer the Demons in Game 5 in Toronto, where they're 1-8 this year. 1-8 this year. So do the Yankees have a pitching advantage today? Yeah, they do. Carlos Rodon has had a terrific year. Opponents hit 188 against him. That's the best batting average against of any pitcher in baseball. Best. And he's facing Shane Bieber, who had a long comeback from Tommy John surgery. He's always been a fine pitcher. He's pitched 7 games so far this year. So what do the Yankees get against Bieber? Now, it would be a pretty good thing for the Yankees to jump out to an early lead, because if the Blue Jays connect against Rodon in the first inning, what you've done is you've essentially quieted the crowd at Yankee Stadium, which I'm sure will be loaded for bear. And you've made the Yankees think, here we go again. They've got to have something positive, and that positive would be an early lead. Now, can they win if they fall behind? Of course. Listen, there's no absolutes in any of this. There's no absolutes. We're only giving you odds. The odds are they don't come back from 2-0. That's the odds. The odds are they fall behind early. They probably lose the game. That's the odds. But can the odds be defeated? Yes, they were in 2017. And they were in 2001 against the A's in a best-of-5. And the Yankees did that on the road. Now, you're supposed to protect home field, right? And the Blue Jays did just that at Rogers Center. Now the Yankees have to protect home field in the Bronx. The problem is that when your back is against the wall, you are thinking about the inevitable end. You've got to shake that from your mind. I'm sure Yankee fans feel that way, and I'm sure very quietly the Yankees feel that way. It's not a good feeling to lose the 2 games the way they did. I mean, they got crushed. They got embarrassed. There's no other way to look at it. You got to shake all of that. You got to say, listen, we've won 3 games in a row before. We came back against the Red Sox, and that was a best of 3. Now we've got to do a best of 5. They can do it. The odds are not in their favor. I'm not coming on this show today and attempting to put lipstick on a pig. Yankees are in a bad way right now. They're in a bad way. Their best hitters aren't hitting. They have not hit home runs. The Blue Jays out-homered them 5-1 on Sunday. And you can talk all you want about small ball and things like that. The Yankees have to hit home runs to win. That's the way they're built. That's the way they're built. And if you want to know about small ball and how it works, I don't know how many of you actually caught the Dodgers and the Phillies game last night. So the Dodgers were ahead 4-0 bottom of the 9th inning. And the Dodgers, the one thing that could stop the Dodgers from repeating is their bullpen is just terrible. It's terrible. They bring in Blake Trinan. He gets crushed in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the Phillies score 3 runs. And they have a runner at second base and nobody out. A runner at second base and nobody out. So I don't know why you would think at that time Bryson Stott's up. And they took out Trinan and they bring in Vesia. And Bryson Stott tries to bunt. Why? Why? Don't you want to win the game? Instead, you're playing to tie the game. Now, I know if you're going to try to tie the game, you try to tie it at home. Get it? Got it? I understand all the old bromides. But you're going to lay down a bunt there to move Castellanos to third with 1 out. So you have 1 shot to score him on a fly ball or something that goes through a drawn-in infield. But the one thing that's a problem, and people don't want to accept it anymore, guys don't know how to bunt. And with the velocity in the game, it's very difficult to bunt. Now, Vesia is not a flamethrower, but he throws hard enough. And Stott does get the bunt down. But he bunts it right to Muncy, who's charging hard from third. And then Mookie Betts running from shortstop to cover third gets Castellanos. I mean, why? Why wouldn't you have Stott swing away and try to hit the ball on the right side? Why? Why are you giving him an out there? I just love the complaints about small ball. They don't know how to play small ball anymore. Now, if your complaint is broader, why don't they teach them how to play small ball? Then we can have a discussion. But you're asking people that can't do things to do things. And Stott actually bunted it to the right place. He bunted it to the third baseman. The Dodgers made a great play. Betts made a great play and a great tag. So from a runner at second base and nobody out, now you have a runner at first base and 1 out. Then Harrison Bader comes up and gets a pinch hit single. That, again, I don't subscribe to the fallacy of the predetermined outcome, but that could have tied the game right there. So they have runners on first and third at the end of this with 2 outs. And then a ground ball to second base. Almost thrown away. Great pick by Freeman. And the Dodgers are up 2-0. Small ball. Let's play small ball. How'd it work out for the Phillies? Getting back to the Yankees. Oh, they got to be able to move the runner and, put the bat on the ball. That's not the way they're built. They're built to hit home runs. So these are the guys that have to snap out of it if the Yankees are going to come back from 2-0. Trent Grisham's had an awful postseason. He's got to snap out of it. Giancarlo Stanton has to snap out of it. Aaron Judge, he's hitting .444, but he has to get some damage done. He's got to do some slug. That has to be done too. Cody Bellinger had a nothing home run in game 2. He's got a slug. These guys have to put the ball in the seats tonight. Or at least get extra base hits. Because Aaron Judge has a double and the rest are all singles. Now, I'm not the person who's going to sit here and insult you or Aaron Judge and say this is all on Aaron Judge, because that seems to be the prevailing narrative now. Oh, if he doesn't hit home runs, they can't win. Oh, please. They have other guys that hit home runs, too. That's why they led the majors in home runs. Everybody has to be able to put the ball in the seats. Now, the lineup's not out yet, but I think it's an interesting lineup that Aaron Boone has to put together. And I think that Aaron Boone and the Yankee organization might have been spooked a bit when they didn't play Ben Rice in Game 1 against the Red Sox, a game that they lost. And then they put Ben Rice in Game 2, and he hits a home run on the first pitch that he sees. Now, Ben Rice has had a great year, but Ben Rice has not looked good against splitters. Strangely enough, though, if you look at his numbers during the season, he actually hit splitters very well, but not the splitters that Gausman and Yasavich were throwing. And I think that they got a little gun shy because there were numbers that were out there that said that you should play Paul Goldschmidt. Because both Gausman and Yasavich have kind of reverse splits. Now, I think tonight you should play Goldschmidt because if you look at the numbers that Bieber has, now these are not the numbers he's had throughout his career, but this year he gets out lefties at a much greater rate than he gets out righties. And the way the playoffs are breaking down now, when's the only time you're going to play Goldschmidt? When? If they face the Tigers in the ALCS and Tarek Skubal's on the mound? You can't waste a guy like Goldschmidt. And I know that his splits are far in favor of playing him against lefties. And he's come off the bench and done a nice job so far. But you can't just limit him to one at bat. Also, you're sacrificing defense too. That has not manifested at all. Rice has not made any mistakes at first base. But if you really want to get Rice in that badly, then play him behind the plate. But on a reverse split thing, I think you almost have to play Goldschmidt tonight. Hopefully, the lineup will officially come out while we're still on the air until 3 o'clock, and then we could discuss it more. But I actually think that the outside noise got to the Yankees. And the fact that Rice, after you do put him in Game 2 against the Red Sox, hits the home run. But that doesn't mean you bury Goldschmidt on the bench. This is a professional who's going to the Hall of Fame in all likelihood one day. Now, the Yankees have a lot riding on Carlos Rodon. He's been, as a Yankee in the playoffs. 5.32 ERA in 23 and two-third innings. But in those 5 playoff starts, the Yankees have won 3 of them. They won 3 of the games. Against the Blue Jays this year, he's thrown 10 innings, and his ERA is 3.60. But the thing you have to watch out for with Carlos Rodon today, and you have to watch out for it in the first inning, Vlad Guerrero has been a beast in this series. The Yankees have been unable to get him out. Well, against Rodon, he's 10 for 17 in his career. 3 doubles and a home run. Those are not friendly numbers. And then, if you look at what Vlad Guerrero has done against the Yankees in his life, the Yankees have not been able to get him out. Many home runs in 102 regular season games. His OPS is 918. His batting average is 302. So there's a lot going on there that is not positive. But the Yankees have to look at it this way. Rodon, at this point, is better than Bieber. Then if they win tonight, Schlittler is better than a bullpen game by the Blue Jays. And then if you can win these 2 games and you go back to Toronto, then you got Max Fried, who hopefully can conquer the demons, these ghouls and goblins that people are imagining at Rogers Center, that he can conquer them, and then the Yankees can get to Gausman the second time they see him, because it would not be Yasavich. It would be Gausman. So that's the roadmap right there, everybody. I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying it's likely, but that's the roadmap. The next 3 pitching matchups favor you, but you've got to be able to score runs. And your pitchers have to do the job. Rodon was okay against the Red Sox. 6 innings, 3 runs. That's okay. That's the definition of okay. That's a 4.50 ERA. I think he has to be a little better tonight. And calming down this Blue Jay offense that doesn't swing and miss much, it's going to be interesting to see how he navigates that. And if you're Aaron Boone, the leash has to be extraordinarily short. Extraordinarily short. If you see him getting into trouble in the first inning, you almost have to go get him. You can't fall behind that much. 2-0, I don't think they take him out then, but if it's 2-0 with, all right, runners on first and second and nobody out, you got to go get him. That's the nature of the beast tonight. There's no tomorrow. You lose the game, you're going golfing. Or, I guess the new phrase is you're going to Cancun. So you got to stem the tide right away. That's why jumping out early would be big. But, you're facing the top of the Blue Jay order in the first inning. We'll see if the stadium crowd is as much of a factor as the crowd that Toronto had at Rogers Center. Let's hear from you now, 1-800-919-3776. And let's go to the phones. Let's go to John in Bethlehem. We'll start off with John. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, Michael. How are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, good. Obviously 2 rough games, but, today's a new day. You got to look at it positively. I think I wanted to talk about Guerrero and how to pitch to him. I mean, obviously, we see these guys get into grooves like this. I think you almost have to think about putting them on, depending on the situation. I think they're pitching to him too much right now, and he's not missing. So give him the Judge treatment. What do you think of that?
You got to be careful because the rest of the lineup's pretty good. Up and down the lineup, they put the ball in play. But, if it's a big situation, I don't think I walk him with a runner on first base. If there's runners on second and third and first base is open, yeah, I do walk him. It's got to be the right situation. I don't walk him to the extent that the Blue Jays walked Judge in that 4-game sweep. But, I don't know if I walk him to that extent. I guess the answer I would say is just you be better. The Browns are trading quarterback Joe Flacco and a 6th-round pick to the Bengals for a 5th-round pick. Bengals are desperate to save their season. Browning has not been the answer, filling in for the injured Burrow, so they'll go with the veteran Joe Flacco. And I'm sure that Flacco is going to start right away. 1-800-919-3776. We'll go to Derek in Soho. Derek.
Hey, Michael. How are you? Thanks for taking
Good.
my
How
call.
you doing?
I'm all good. First of all, congrats on another just phenomenal year in the booth. You and Paul and Girardi and Curry and just everyone at Yes are the best in the business. And
Thanks,
I hope you stick around for a long, long time.
That's the plan.
I'm glad. Well, I want to reiterate and add on to the point you made on yesterday's show about this just nonsense conspiracy from not only Yankee Twitter, but the players themselves. Some of them like Weaver and Bellinger insinuating that the Blue Jays are possibly cheating. I mean, I want to just pose this question. Do you genuinely, deep down, truly believe that Major League Baseball and Rob Manfred, after the embarrassment of 2017 and the Houston Astros, would allow a team, let alone in a playoff game, to do that kind of stuff again? I mean, it's baseball. Teams get hot and cold. And, maybe besides the 98 Yankees, it's rare that a team will just absolutely steamroll their way to a ring. Maybe it's possible the Blue Jays are just a more fundamentally sound team than the Yankees are and got hot at the right time. They got to prove it tonight, and we got to get to Bieber. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Michael, you're the best. I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you. Well, what I said yesterday, Derek, holds true today. I don't want to hear insinuations. I don't want to have people kind of hint at it. You got something, say it. If you don't, shut up. And you're saying, would Rob Manfred allow it? Well, if you're good at it, then you don't get caught. I mean, there are a lot of people that cheat on their taxes that don't get caught. Now, I'm not saying that the Blue Jays are doing anything untoward because I just think that it sounds like sour grapes. Now, the thing with Weaver, they were trying to change him up because they felt that he was tipping throughout the month of September. This wasn't just a Blue Jay thing at Rogers Center. But just trying to parse the words of Max Fried, well, They seem to be on everything. Hints like that make you think that they think something is going on. And as I said yesterday, and I'll repeat today, it's an affront to the Blue Jays. They have outplayed you completely. They've won 10 of 15 games. They've won 8 of 9 at Rogers Center. And if you actually believe that something's going on, you've got a lot of people on your staff. You got a lot of smart people that work for your organization. Figure it out, make it public, and make the adjustment. Otherwise, don't say a word. Because then you're taking the luster away from the Blue Jays. Now, I think a lot of people have also misunderstood one thing. You could steal signs from the base paths if you're a player. If you have a tell on the pitcher, or you pick up a tell from the catcher where he's setting up, that's fair game, man. Anything between the lines is fair game, as long as it's not done electronically like what the Astros did. Now, if the Yankees are hinting at that, well boo-hoo. Hide your signs better. Clean up any tells that a pitcher might have. But it seems like the hinting is even bigger than that. Like there's something going on that's illegal, because stealing signs from the base is not illegal. The Yankees do it all the time. The Yankees are one of the best teams at it. Even John Schneider spoke about it in September. Well, the Yankees are really, really good at that. The Yankees have, I'm telling you, they have really smart people, smart coaches, smart support staff that they study every frame of every video that they have, which is legal. And then they tell the players what to look for, and it works a lot. That's legal. And if you're complaining that they're doing legal sign stealing, well, shame on you for not hiding it better. I just don't like the innuendo. I don't like it. I don't have a dog in the fight in this. You can't kind of like quietly indict somebody when you don't have any proof. Now, the Yankees have not said anything like we think they're cheating, but just I'm trying to read the tea leaves of the things that are coming out of their mouth. I usually keep people off balance, but they were on everything. Well, okay, then that's on you, Max. I just hate that a team gets stained by an innuendo when there's no proof. Now, the Astros, they deserve to be stained. There's proof in 2017 that you did something. You admitted it. Now, the 2019 Astros, because they did admit to 2017, there are many people that think that something was going on in 2019. I never say that because there's not proof. Was Altuve wearing a buzzer? Who knows? Until you have proof, isn't it unfair to throw that out there like that? In any walk of life. Oh, that guy, he's a serial adulterer. Okay, prove it. Show me how he's cheating on his wife. Don't just say it. Show me. Don't hint that there's something going on at Rogers Center. Show me. And if you think there's something going on at Rogers Center, you're one of the smarter teams in the league. Figure it out and cover it up. That's kind of why there's a part of me that wants to see the Yankees win the next 2 games, because I want to see, can they make the adjustment and win a game at Rogers Center? The Yankees are 4-2 against the Blue Jays at home, and they're 1-8 at Rogers Center, including the 2 games in the playoffs. That's not good enough. But hinting at something happening that's not right, that's not good enough either. Prove it, and then fix it. Prove it, and then fix it. And I would tell you, if you look at the stats of most teams in baseball, most of them are better at home. Yankees are better at home. The Mets are better at home. And I think that teams are better at home because they're more comfortable. The mound is more comfortable. The background is more comfortable. The batter's eye is more comfortable. They're just more comfortable playing there. Thus, they win more. But should it be that much of a difference where you lose 8 out of 9? The Yankees had the same amount of wins as the Blue Jays, 94 wins. Why are they getting waxed like that in Toronto? 1-8 for a team that won 94 games? Maybe the only way that they can reconcile how they've been embarrassed in Toronto is to blame these invisible goblins that somehow are out there. Or are they? Or have you just been outplayed in Toronto? I guess we'll never know unless somebody steps up. You know, a lot of the people in the media have come out and said it too. I have not, because I don't think it's right. But if the media is hearing whispers from whomever, then come out and say, what do you think's happening? Don't tiptoe around it. That's insulting. It's insulting to the Blue Jays. Don't tiptoe around it. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number. I hope you're watching me, because you could do that now on YouTube TV. All you have to do is go to the ESPN New York app, click on the YouTube TV tile, and then subscribe. Doesn't cost a dime. And you could see my pretty face for 2 hours. And Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, their pretty face. And Carlin and Bart, or the other way around, Bart and Carlin. And DiPietro and Rothenberg. All on YouTube TV. And then, of course, hopefully you're listening on the ESPN New York app or on the great flamethrower ESPN New York.
Make cancer screening a part of your annual healthcare routine. New York Presbyterian offers a full range of cancer screenings, including lung, cervical, prostate, colorectal, breast, and more. Regular cancer screenings could save your life by detecting cancer at its earliest, most treatable stages. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester. Learn more at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Ballybet Sportsbook. Yo, Ballybet stacked for football season. When it comes to sportsbook apps, it's undefeated. Ballybet. Check out that brand new parlay zone. Here's the kickoff. Build your bets and place them right on your phone. What? Live bets, daily boosts, and promos. Increase your odds so you can win more dough. Touchdown! Ballybet's the play. Make game day more fun and download it today. Must be 21 plus, New York only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Ballybet Sportsbook and Casino.
Download it.
Just printed from the Erie Canal Press, the most coveted ticket, New York Lottery's $1 million raffle, hath arrived. 15 fortunate souls shall come into the fortune of a millionaire.
Translation, the $1 million raffle is here, and 15 winners are going to become millionaires. The New York Lottery commemorates 200 years of the Erie Canal with your best odds of winning $1 million. Limited tickets available. Ask your local retailer today. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Getting the right mattress helps you sleep at night. Getting the right price helps you sleep even better. At PC Richard & Son, they don't just sell you a mattress. Their experts use a 4-step fitting process to make sure your new bed fits you perfectly. The right fit, the right price, plus free delivery. It's what they do, only at PC Richard & Son. Free delivery on mattresses $199 and up. Excludes Manhattan. See stores for details.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Tuesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Will the Yankees keep their season alive tonight?
You know, we feel like we've been playing with a lot on the line every single day. And we'll go into our, hitters meeting, and it's about win today. It's about going up and trying to win every pitch and keep it small, keep it simple.
What do you expect from Carlos Rodon? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Tailgate season is on, and Monster Energy flavors are bringing the heat. Crack open the wickedly creamy citrus blast of Orange Dreamsicle, or ride the shockingly smooth wave of Electric Blue. Both packed with real sugar, bold flavor, and that legendary monster kick. This is the energy your game day deserves, so grab your can and unleash the beast.
Tire care shouldn't come with extra costs or surprise fees. It should be simple, straightforward, and stress-free. So at Midas, they're rolling out the limited lifetime tire guarantee, included with every tire purchase with paid installation. You'll pay nothing for flat repairs, nada for flat replacements, zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles, and zero for other preventative maintenance. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's the limited lifetime tire guarantee, only at Midas.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Yankees and the Blue Jays tonight. An hour before first pitch, we'll have a pregame show on Yes. And then right after last pitch, well then, it'll be a postgame show. Will it be a postmortem, or will it just be a postgame show? Game Time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Again, the game starts at 8 p.m., the pregame show at 7 p.m. on Yes. Yankees face elimination against the Blue Jays up in the Bronx. You can hear that game on 1050 ESPN. At 4 p.m., the Tigers and the Mariners are in Detroit for Game 3 of the ALDS Series. You can hear that game on 1050 ESPN. And at 8 p.m., the Rangers drop the puck on the NHL season, hosting the Penguins at Madison Square Garden. Coverage right here on ESPN New York begins at 7:30 p.m. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Let's go back to you, my co-host, Angelina in New York. What's up, Angelina?
Hello, Michael K. How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
Well, I call really to thank you so much. You are a wonderful, wonderful person. My grandson is a Make-A-Wish child. He has a disease, and they granted him the wish to go to Yankee Stadium May 2nd. You were in your box there, and you were so kind to meet him. You put the headphones on him, and they took a picture of that, and I had it made into a coffee cup. And it was given, there was a lady, I can't think of her name, a young lady's name that works with the Yankees and also Make-A-Wish. And I mailed it to that address and made sure that I wanted to make sure that you get a coffee mug. You probably can put pencils in it, but Michael, what a nice, nice thing you do. And my grandson just loves you. You signed a ball for him, and every time he watches the Yankees and there's a home run, he does the Michael K. See ya. Oh. He just was so thrilled. And he's 6 years old now, so we've got another year with him. We're so grateful. But you, Michael K., are the nicest man ever.
Oh, please. How's he doing?
He's doing well. I said he just celebrated his 6th year. So I'm grateful for that. My Make-A-Wish made such a big dream come true. Aaron Judge gave him his batting gloves, brought him out into the field. I don't know if you remember. And he got his batting gloves, but the only thing he said, he had some Yankee dirt on his sneakers. And he had it for 2 days. And he says, "No, what am I going to do, Grandma? I don't have the dirt anymore." He wants the Yankee dirt.
Well, you know, Angelina, do me a favor. Get in touch with me next year, and we'll get him up to the booth again.
Oh, that would be wonderful. He just loves you. And for you to take the time with everything you have going on, I needed to tell you thank you. And I'm hoping that girl gets you that coffee mug. That was sent out a week ago.
Mail moves very slowly at Yankee Stadium to the booth, so I hopefully I'll get it before 2028. But thank you, Angelina. That's very sweet of you to call. Well, no need to thank me. I mean, thank you very much. I hope your grandson does well. But
thank you so much, and God bless. And no matter what, I still love the Yankees, win or lose.
All right, thank you, Angelina. Have a great day, and tell your grandson hello. Let's go to Phil in Albany. Phil.
Hey, Michael, how you doing? First-time caller.
Oh, welcome aboard, Phil. What do you got?
Listen, a few things. I'll try to keep it brief. I'm 31 years old. Growing up, I was always a huge Yankee fan, listening to your games, and I'll be honest, I never gave your show the time of day, just because I figured I listened to you every night in high school and college and whatnot. But you guys do a fantastic job, and I started listening a few years ago, and still listen to Peter and Don and those guys. But you do a fantastic job covering New York sports as a whole as well. Don't feel overly optimistic with Rodon. I mean, like you said, his stats were so-so, and let's be honest, I mean, I'm not trying to be a half-glass empty guy, but it's hard to imagine we're going to get a 7-inning, one-run maximum type of game out of him. Now, obviously, we're hoping for that, but I guess we'll see. And secondly is a little proof in the pudding here with the Blue Jays. And I know some of our guys are locked down, like we have McMahon, who's already going to be our third baseman for the next couple of years and so on. But think back to DJ LeMahieu when he came over, and yeah, he had a little bit of an outlier year in terms of his OPS was sky high with us and 30-some-odd home runs. But there's got to be a way that they think of acquiring or somehow building the roster a little bit where you find these guys who can hit 260, 270 and just put the ball in play and, have a little speed. I mean, I know we have Jazz Chisholm and stuff, and I know that outlier, the hard hit ball that Vlad hit or whatever the other day, that's an AstroTurf problem in itself. But you just feel like those types of hits are so crucial in the playoffs, and any little way to get on base in the playoffs is huge momentum. And we can tell that from watching it in the comfort of our own homes, or you can even tell that by broadcasting the game or being live at the stadium.
Well, I will tell you this. I mean, I think they had the most stolen bases of any team in September. So they have incorporated speed into what they do. But if you think that they're going to veer away from building a team that's built on home runs, they're just not going to, because they believe that that's the way to win. The second team in terms of home runs as a team, the Dodgers. And that's how the Dodgers won the World Series last year. They hit home runs. Freeman's home run against Nestor Cortez. They hit home runs in big spots. I mean, I know it seems to be this romantic notion. You get speedy guys. The Yankees are never going to turn into the 1980 Cardinals. They're just not. In that ballpark, you want people that hit home runs in any ballpark. That's what people think wins. And for the most part, they're right. The Dodgers are a home run hitting team. Ohtani hit over 50 home runs again. Up and down the lineup, they hit home runs. So they have incorporated speed. Caballero, 39 stolen bases. That leads... or 49 stolen bases, that leads Major League Baseball. Volpe, if he got on base more, would steal bases. They tighten up their defense, which was a problem in the World Series last year. But right now, they're not hitting. And there's some romantic notion, well, if they pound out 5 singles in a row, it's hard to pound out 5 singles in a row against good pitching. So you need a single and a home run. You need to walk a single and a home run. That's how you put up runs against great pitching. Joe in Long Island. Joe.
Hey, Michael K. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yep. Well, everyone likes to blame Boone how the Yankees aren't winning, and yeah, he did set our 30-30 player on the first game of the wild card. But I really don't think it's Boone's fault. I think it's the players. I mean, they don't hit runs. They don't hit when we need hits. I mean, we leave the bases loaded with sometimes one out, and we don't score any runs. I mean, it's always a heart attack watching these Yankees play. And I am 18, but and I remember you said a couple of episodes ago how, people who are fans in the 90s didn't really see the Yankees struggle that much. But, I feel like my whole life I've seen the Yankees just struggle. I mean, I get they won in 2009, but I mean, I don't really remember it because I was so young. But
right. Well, I mean, but one thing, Joe, nobody dances to a World Series other than the 1998 Yankees. The 96 Yankees struggled. The 99 Yankees had some struggles. The 2000 team was the worst team of them all, and they ended up winning a World Series. Teams struggle. It's not a cakewalk. It never is. I'm not scolding anybody for this, and I know you want an easier run. Last year was an easy run until the World Series, but that's not the way sports happen, especially not baseball. There's so many layers. We're not going to have a Moses Malone thing, 3, 4, 4. I mean, it's just not going to happen. You're going to have struggles. It's going to be difficult to win a World Series. That's why the rules are different now than they were when the Yankees were winning 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5. It's hard. It kind of makes me laugh a little bit. It's never easy. It's not supposed to be easy. Now, Yankee fans have every right to be upset they haven't won since 2009. But as I said yesterday, take a look at the teams that are remaining in the American League playoffs. Mariners have never been to the World Series. The Tigers haven't won since 84. And the Blue Jays haven't won since 93. It's hard. That's part of the joy of being a fan is the ups and the downs. I know the downs, you don't enjoy it, but it makes the ups that much better. Hey, if they lose to the Blue Jays, it's going to stink. And you could say the season was a failure. When you go to Game 5 of the World Series and you get knocked out in the ALDS, that's a failure. I am not one of the people that subscribe to that last year was a failure. I'm sorry. You can all scream all you want at me. You go to the Game 5 of the World Series, it's not a failure. It's a disappointment you didn't win. But to say it's a failure to be one of the last two teams standing, no, I'm not buying that. If they had lost to the Red Sox, it would have been an epic failure. And if they lose to the Blue Jays, it will be a failure. They didn't build this team to be knocked out in the division series. They didn't. So you could be angry if they get knocked out. But to be angry about what they did last year, sorry, you can have your own. I can't tell you how to think. That's not the way I think. Do you have a celebration because you lost in Game 5 of the World Series? No, but you don't have a funeral. And the team's different this year, and it's going to be different next year. There's a lot of free agents on this team. Is Grisham coming back? Is Bellinger coming back? I don't think Devin Williams is coming back. Is Luke Weaver coming back? There's a lot of things that are going to change. Believe me, a lot. Paul Goldschmidt's probably not coming back. But I don't understand why people think it's supposed to be a cakewalk. It's not. It never has been that. That's what sports is about. Giants, wide right with Norwood. Was that a cakewalk? No. You had your heart in your hands. You had your heart in your mouth the entire game. Giants beating the Patriots when they were 17-0. That game came right down to the end. Was it a cakewalk? No, but it felt great. I know not winning a championship stinks. I understand Yankee fans are raised on winning championships. But getting the playoffs, isn't that part of the fun too? But nobody wants to hear that. I'll get the, Yankee boy carrying the Yankee water. I'm not carrying the Yankee water because the captain of the Yankees says it's a failure that they didn't win the World Series. I disagree with them. I'm not carrying their water at all. That's just truly how I believe. It stinks that they didn't win last year to get that close. But to call it a failure, to be one of the last two teams out of 30 standing, your definition of failure is different than mine. Hey, FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff with an offer that you don't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. Visit FanDuel.com/K to download the FanDuel app today and get started. 21 plus and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Tuesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Will the Yankees keep their season alive tonight?
We feel like we've been playing with a lot on the line every single day. And we'll go into our, hitters meeting, and it's about win today. It's about going up and trying to win every pitch and keep it small, keep it simple.
What do you expect from Carlos Rodon? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Okay, girls, ready to go?
Yeah! Mom, I'm hungry. Can I have a snack? Me too, Mommy.
You want a snack?
Yeah!
Got it?
Children learn from our behaviors.
Mommy, can you open this,
All right, hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay, here.
Thank you.
They learn what is okay from the adults they see.
Mommy, are you on your phone?
If you're a distracted driver, chances are they will be too. What kind of driver are you raising? Funded by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Yo, Bally Bet stacked for football season. When it comes to sportsbook apps, it's undefeated. Check out that brand new Parlay Zone. Here's the kickoff. Build your bets and place them right on your phone. What? Live bets, daily boosts, and promos. Increase your odds so you can win more dough. Touchdown! Bally Bet's the play. Make game day more fun and download it today. Must be 21 plus, New York only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Bally Bet, Sportsbook and Casino. Download it.
Getting the right mattress helps you sleep at night. Getting the right price helps you sleep even better. At PC Richard & Son, they don't just sell you a mattress. Their experts use a 4-step fitting process to make sure your new bed fits you perfectly. The right fit, the right price, plus free delivery. It's what they do, only at PC Richard & Son. Free delivery on mattresses $199 and up. Excludes Manhattan. See stores for details.
At Navy Federal Credit Union, all veterans, active duty, and their families can become members and enjoy exclusive benefits. With the Cash Rewards and Cash Rewards Plus cards, you can earn a $250 cash bonus when you spend $2,500 in the first 90 days. Plus, you can earn up to 2% unlimited cash back. Offer ends January 1st, 2026. Join now at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Cashback terms and conditions apply. Visit NavyFederal.org/cash rewards for more information.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
In the city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports, ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Yankees and the Blue Jays tonight, Game 3. Yankees backs against the wall. Any cliche you want to use. They lose and their season is done. They win. They live to play another day with Cam Schlittler on the mound for Game 4 against a Blue Jay bullpen game. So the Blue Jays must feel a little heat to get it done tonight. You never know what's going to happen in the bullpen. Their bullpen did not pitch well at all in Game 2. Actually made the score look somewhat respectable. All 13-7 is certainly nothing that you want to hang on the rim about. But that game was so much worse than 13-7. It just looks like, okay, they got outslugged. No, they didn't. They got outplayed, and then they added runs at the end to make it look like it was just they got outslugged. No, they got outplayed from pillar to post. Let's go to Vinny in Staten Island. Vinny. Hey, Vin. Vincenzo. All right, thank you. Let's go to Lou in Rhode Island. Lou.
Hey, Michael. Pleasure talking to you. First-time caller.
Oh, welcome aboard, man.
So I just wanted to bring up that I think it's a culture issue why this team keeps struggling in the playoffs. So arrogant, passionate,
the line is really bad, Lou. You have to call back. But they struggle in the playoffs. They won last year. They got to the World Series. Why do people say they struggle in the playoffs? They've been to the ALCS a couple of times with Boone. They went to the World Series. They don't struggle in the play. They struggle against certain teams. They don't struggle against the Central Division teams. And the Tigers are a Central Division team, and they're tied 1-1 against a really good Seattle team. People want to fit this narrative. Oh, they struggle all the time. Why do people forget they went to the World Series last year? Because of Game 5? Game 5 stunk. They embarrassed themselves in the fifth inning. I'm not trying to deny that. But to say they struggle all the time in the playoffs, they just beat the Red Sox. They won 2 rounds last year, and they had a bye. So essentially they won 3 rounds. And then they lost in Game 5 of the World Series, and a series where they were outscored by 1 run over the 5 games. So how do they struggle in the playoffs all the time? They haven't won a championship. You want to say that? Absolutely. Go for it. They haven't since 2009. That will be a hammered home point by a certain group of Yankee fans for as long as we're alive and until they win another World Series. Get it. You have the right. But to say they struggle in the playoffs when just this previous year, that's like when you hear, well, they can't win anything with Boone. Well, okay, so he's good enough as a manager to get them to Game 5 of the World Series, but they can't win anything with Boone. Last year, they went to Game 5 of the World Series with a first baseman who was not able to get a job this year and a left fielder who got a cup of coffee with the Braves and is out of baseball. That was two of the people in the lineup every game. Every game. Now, if you want to say the team's not good enough, fine. But everybody wants to put it on Aaron Boone. And Aaron Boone certainly has made his mistakes. I'll give you chapter and verse. And if you listen every day, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. Taking Fried out when he did in Game 1 of the Red Sox series, terrible. Not playing Chisholm in the starting lineup, terrible. Pinch running with a 2-1 count in Game 1 against the Blue Jays, unfathomable. And then when you're asked about it, you say, well, I changed my mind. Sorry, you don't change your mind in the middle of a count like that. What changed your mind? So I'm not saying that Aaron is not without blame, but to paint him with a brush while they can't win with him, really? Really? Oh, you can say, well, they haven't yet, but they were good enough to go to the ALCS a couple of times with him and good enough to go to Game 5 of the World Series. But there's something there. It's like when people used to say about Mike Hargrove. The Indians could never win with Mike Hargrove as a manager. Yeah, all Mike Hargrove did was manage a team to Game 7 of the World Series and give a lead to his closer, and the closer blew it. That's on Mike Hargrove? But people need to fit something into a very comfortable little box. And that little box is Aaron Boone is the problem. And I've said this a million times on this show. If Aaron Boone, for some reason or another, was let go, you would get an Aaron Boone clone. You wouldn't get Buck Showalter. You wouldn't get Bruce Bochy. You wouldn't get Terry Francona. You wouldn't get Billy Martin or Earl Weaver. You'd get a guy who works in collaboration with the front office. Period. Period. And you want to know something? I wrote this down because I didn't know if we'd get into all the Boone stuff again. When I say that a manager or a coach's job is to have a good relationship with the players, believe me, I know what I'm talking about. They don't want a guy who's going to rip a player. They don't want that. They won't hire that. And I'll give you a perfect example. And I'll remember this, and I'll remember this play because it cost me in my survivor pool. You've got Amari DiMercato, who was about to score a 72-yard touchdown. And like a fool, like others before him, he dropped the ball before he crossed the end zone line, the goal line. And it was a touchback rather than touchdown. So that would have been that would have put the Arizona Cardinals up 28-6 over a dreadful Titans team with 12:40 left in the fourth quarter. And Jonathan Gannon, the head coach of the Cardinals, tore into DiMercato right there on the field, in his face, screaming at him. And I said, wow, that's great. I mean, that's what this kid needs. He needs to be shouted at to tell him how dumb it was what he just did. And you know what Jonathan Gannon did today? Do you want to know? Get closer to the speaker. You know what he did? He met with the media and he apologized. He couldn't sleep at night because of what he did to DiMercato. He apologized. Think about that. He did the right thing by airing the guy out. But maybe somebody from the front office said, no. You can't do that to players. Players don't like to be yelled at. You could lose the team. You upset all the zen that we have. You upset that, the good feelings. And he had to apologize. He shouldn't have done that. He couldn't sleep about it. Can you imagine how many sleepless nights Earl Weaver and Billy Martin would have had if they operated under these rules? So you want a guy, Yankee fans, who's going to come in and manage the Yankees and get up on that podium, and you're watching the postgame on Yes, and he's going to say, Player X stinks. If he's not going to hit, I'm going to bench his backside. You can't make a play like that. What an idiot. Yeah, he'd last a day. If the players didn't attack him, he'd get fired by the front office. So stop wishing for something that's impossible to ever happen. Jonathan Gannon did the right thing and had to apologize for doing the right thing because he might have upset the players and hurt their feelings. He hurt their feelings. And you think that that's the guy that the Yankees would hire if they got rid of Aaron Boone. Okay. Then you don't know what you're watching and you don't see what sports are now. Sports are all about the coach has an ooey-gooey relationship with the player, so they'll play hard for him. He'll never insult them. He'll never put them in a bad situation, and they'll run through a wall for him. That's it. That's it. You're not getting the hard-edge guy anymore. Is there a reason? Do you think there's a reason why Bill Belichick can't get a job in the NFL anymore? What do you think is the reason? Because he's going to hold players to task. And he might not do it in the media, but he's going to rip them a new one. He's going to rip them a new one if they do something wrong. Do you think Bill Parcells could coach in today's NFL? I wish Bill Parcells wasn't in his 80s. I wish he was in his 60s. And I wish that somebody would give him a job, and somebody would give him a job in all likelihood because Bill Parcells. See how that works. See how it works the way he go look at all the NFL films. Take a look at the way he treated Phil Simms. Take a look. Screaming at him constantly, cursing at players on the sidelines. You think that would work in 2025? Because the disciple of Bill Parcells now, who thinks he's descended from the Bill Parcells tree, is 0-5 with the Jets. With all that accountability and stuff like that, 0-5. He ran on a platform of discipline and culture, not making mistakes. They're penalized more than any team. 23 penalties in the last 2 games. What worked then is not acceptable now. And it's not just in sports. The way you're a boss in the Madman era, you can't be a boss like that now. And you might say, well, you know, well, that is because the world is woke and we're going to turn that around. Okay, let's see how it works out. Because people have been brought up thinking that's not the way you treat somebody. So they want the anti-Aaron Boone. Who is that? Who is that that's going to get past Brian Cashman and be hired? Who? Not going to happen. So they better make it work this way because it's not going to happen. And if Aaron Boone is ever relieved of his duties, it'll be another Aaron Boone, just like that. We'll come back with Paul Feinbaum, talk some college football in just a moment. Get back to your phone calls as well. It's the K-Show right here on ESPN New York.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Just printed from the Erie Canal Press, the most coveted ticket, New York Lottery's $1 million raffle, hath arrived. 15 fortunate souls shall come into the fortune of a millionaire.
Translation, the $1 million raffle is here, and 15 winners are going to become millionaires. The New York Lottery commemorates 200 years of the Erie Canal with your best odds of winning $1 million. Limited tickets available. Ask your local retailer today. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Getting the right mattress helps you sleep at night. Getting the right price helps you sleep even better. At PC Richard & Son, they don't just sell you a mattress. Their experts use a 4-step fitting process to make sure your new bed fits you perfectly. The right fit, the right price, plus free delivery. It's what they do, only at PC Richard & Son. Free delivery on mattresses $199 and up. Excludes Manhattan. See stores for details.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
The Association on Aging in New York is celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Older Americans Act, which funds vital programs for millions of older adults. Services include meals, transportation, home care, Medicare counseling, case management, and caregiver support. Today, people are uncertain whether some programs remain available. We can help. To learn more about these essential programs and how to keep them, visit our website at agingny.org. Sponsored by the Association on Aging in New York.
Ballybet Sportsbook. Yo, Ballybet stacked for football season. When it comes to sportsbook apps, it's undefeated. Ballybet. Check out that brand new parlay zone. Here's the kickoff. Build your bets and place them right on your phone. What? Live bets, daily boosts, and promos. Increase your odds so you can win more dough. Touchdown! Ballybet's the play. Make game day more fun and download it today. Must be 21 plus, New York only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Ballybet Sportsbook and Casino.
Download it. Rich Eisen here for Sonos, the speakers that bring every game to life in my own house. With studio quality sound, Sonos makes you feel like you're right there in the stadium. Whether you're cheering on your team, binging your favorite show, or listening to the hottest songs, Sonos fills every room with incredible sound. Setup is easy. Just plug in, open the Sonos app, and you're ready to go. Want stadium quality sound at home just like me? Because I love Sonos. You will too. Explore soundbars, speakers, and more at Sonos.com. Sonos. They look as good as they sound.
Your fantasy roster is set, the smack talk is heating up, and this season ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing the ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sportsbook for sports fans. Make the connection today with ESPN Bet Fan Center and the ESPN Fantasy app. ESPN Bet Sportsbook, download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. A lot of interesting storylines happening in college football. We're so glad that we get a chance every Tuesday to talk with Paul Feinbaum, and he joins us now. Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Michael, all good, other than the Yankees being down 2-0.
Yeah, that's, as Joe Girardi would say, it's not what you want. So we'll see if they can climb out of it tonight.
Let's hope.
James Franklin loses to UCLA. How big a deal is that? And I think we asked you this last week. He's not in any trouble, right?
Well, he's got a $50 million buyout, so I think that is always a good thing to have on your side when you're floundering, and he is floundering. The loss to Oregon was tough because it was another top 10 mishap. But, Michael, I don't think there's almost no way to put it into perspective how bad UCLA was. I mean, this is a team that has already lost twice to Mountain West teams. I don't know if they even had a lead at any time in those 4 games. And they're playing the game in the afternoon in the Rose Bowl. I think the game started about 12:30, and there may have been 5,000 people there. So it's not like it was a big home field advantage. And just to cough that, they've already fired the coach a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, it's not the worst loss in history, because I think Pete Carroll once lost to Jim Harbaugh at Stanford when Pete was at USC as a 42-point favorite. But it's in the same ballpark.
So what happened? Do you think they were licking their wounds over the loss to Oregon or what?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way of getting around that. And I think James Franklin just his mind was elsewhere. I mean, it was, he blamed it on the travel. Michael, a week before, Oregon came from a further distance and beat Penn State at Happy Valley. I mean, it's easy to say James Franklin ought to be fired and he needs to go. And quite frankly, that's what I would say if I had the $50 million in my back pocket. But I think his services have really become futile at Penn State. The fan base is turning on him. And need I remind the audience how great this program once was? And I realize there was a scandal, a major scandal, one of the worst in college football history. But Penn State should not tolerate mediocrity. And right now, the chance of getting to the playoffs are slim. They've already lost 2 games. Their non-conference schedule was Nevada, Florida International, and Villanova. That's not going to help you if you're sitting there at 10-2. And by the way, they won't be 10-2 because they have Indiana, which is a top 10 team, and they also go to Ohio State.
All right, so Paul, what does he do well? Does he bring in good players, or is he a bad coach? I mean, what has put them into this situation that he can't win the big games and then he loses a game like he did to UCLA?
There's only one way to sum it up. It's his fault. He had the best roster he's ever had. They spent a fortune. They brought in Jim Knowles from Ohio State. He was the defensive coordinator last year on the national championship winning team. He may have blown the quarterback choice. He chose Drew Auer, the backup quarterback. Prbula went to Missouri, where they are now undefeated, taking on Alabama this week. So it's about the second time it looks like he's made that mistake. So that used to be his calling card. And I think sometimes you see it in baseball, you see it in every sport. You just stay somewhere too long. And in my mind, he has stayed there way too long.
All right, so I'm going to ask you this question, and maybe it's getting into the weeds too much, and maybe it's too complicated, but maybe you could make it simple for us. So I read this long story in The Athletic about the Big Ten negotiating a contract with an investor, whatever the case may be, but Ohio State and Michigan, they want more money to sign up for that. Would teams ever allow that? Would other schools allow, it to be weighted in favor of Ohio State and Michigan so that they don't leave the Big Ten?
There is some very loose precedent for that. Remember, 20 years ago, Texas decided it wanted its own network, and they got ESPN to front the bill. It turned out to be somewhat of a disaster, but ultimately, other schools have done it as well. In the ACC, Clemson and Florida State made a deal with the league that they would get a higher share if they finished proportionally to what they have been doing in the past. So I think the Big Ten would almost be forced into this because Michigan and Ohio State are the most valuable products in that league. When you look at Michigan and Ohio State TV value-wise, and that's really what we're talking about, versus Northwestern, Rutgers. I know I'm getting close to home there. Nobody's watching those two, but everyone's watching Ohio State and Michigan. And now there is also Oregon. Southern Cal is still a brand name, even though they're on harder times than they have been.
Now, the ratings for an Ohio State game and a Michigan game are higher than the other teams. You're right. But I'm wondering, would they survive like in a Notre Dame situation? Could they just break off and go, okay, we're going to do this alone and make a lot more money?
I don't think so. I never thought, Michael, Notre Dame could go out on its own, but they have, and they've been successful, and having a big season last year playing for the title really helped them. The one thing that they do, though, it's not talked about a lot, but they have an affiliation with the ACC where they play 5 ACC games, which gives them some support. It gives them good games, maybe not great games, depending on the year. But it's almost impossible now to go out on your own, and I think it would. I don't think Ohio State or Michigan would try that.
All right, we're talking with Paul Feinbaum, his weekly spot here on the show. So I'm not that familiar with this. You are, and I just want to ask you if this is weird. So North Carolina had a bye before this last game against Clemson, and I kept reading, Paul, that Belichick and his girlfriend Jordan, they spent the week at Cape Cod. Is that odd for a football coach to leave his squad for a week?
I've never heard that before in all the years I've covered college football. There have been Steve Spurrier used to play golf on the Friday of his bye week, which is no big deal. They usually send the team home Thursday for a couple of days of just rest and relaxation. I talked to Brian Kelly yesterday. He had a bye week. I said, "What did you do?" He said, "I went shopping with my wife." I mean, that's as far as you go. I mean, that is unprecedented because there's so many issues right now in college football other than getting ready for the next game, which, by the way, wouldn't be a bad idea for Belichick to be prepared the next time he plays a game because he's gotten his head bashed in the last 2 or 3 times out. But no, that is not. Can you imagine Nick Saban doing that?
No.
I mean, this guy probably never left his office during the bye week because you're recruiting, you're making phone calls, you're going to see high school players. And I'll finish this by saying Bill Belichick, six Super Bowls, goes down as the best coach in NFL history. Right now he's trending toward the worst coach in college football history.
Do you think he's lost interest? I mean, I don't know if you could know that for sure, but I'm sure you talked to a lot of people. Is he fully engaged, or did he take this job because there's no NFL job?
He took it for exactly that reason, and I think he believed that he could have some quick success, he'd get a lot of attention, which he did, and then parlay that into a job next year. Well, the reality is, the NFL is not coming anywhere near him. I don't know if they would have come near him anyway, but it is amazing, though. Had he had a pretty good record, had he had a Deion Sanders first season, knocking out a couple of teams, becoming a big conversation piece, he could have gotten somebody's attention. But right now, I mean, listen, this is not an exaggeration to say he's an absolute laughingstock in college football.
I mean, he's still a great coach, obviously still a great coaching mind. Did he not bring in the right players, Paul? Did he not bring in enough players?
Well, no, he brought in, I think, 70 new players. I don't know if it's possible to bring in any more. I think his staff is okay. He's got Michael Lombardi as a player personnel guy, which is critical right now. I just think he underestimated that some of these other teams would really be good. Now, by the way, Clemson is the same school that has lost now to Syracuse and Georgia Tech and to LSU. So it's one thing to play Clemson. He's also lost to TCU and one other ACC school. Can you imagine if Belichick went up against Oregon or Ohio State or the top team in the SEC? I mean, it would be 80-0. And that's really the problem. I mean, a lot of people on week 1 when they played TCU with all the hullabaloo that ESPN put on it, I mean, there was a thought that he'd win the game, and now they've just been exposed. The players are not connecting, and there's almost nowhere to go because if you're a player at another school or a recruit and you're looking at this, and Bill Belichick looks like he's washed up, which, by the way, he was his last couple of years in the NFL too. Let's not kid ourselves. What has he done since Tom Brady left?
And also the pettiness, Paul. Like, he wouldn't let the UNC put out something on Mac Jones playing so well. I mean, it's unbelievable. Or Drake May. I mean, he wouldn't let them put out anything on Drake May. I mean, that's so petty.
Yeah, and he also canceled the Hulu documentary, which was probably the smartest thing he's done. Michael, this is who he is, and anyone who's ever been around him, anyone who's ever covered him, great coach, but petty, surly guy, and it's now coming out, and there's no filter anymore. There's no reason for anybody to protect him because he does it to himself.
Unbelievable. Arch Manning take another step back. What did you think of his performance last week?
This will sound crazy, but he actually played pretty well. His offensive line did not block. They left him just a sitting duck. And from a QBR standpoint, from a rating standpoint, he improved. But the biggest game of the season is coming up. It's OU Texas, one of the biggest games in college football every year. The advantage for Texas is that John Mateer, who had been the best quarterback in the entire country, he transferred over from Washington State. He's out. And the quarterback in his place is actually worse than Arch Manning.
Final. The Jets are 0-5. There's a chance that they could have the number 1 pick. So give me your top 3 quarterbacks that would be coming out and maybe interested Jets in building around.
Well, it's not the ones I would have told you 7 weeks ago. And that was Klubnik and Nussmeier. I still think Nussmeier can come through all this. I really think he's been injured. I think Mateer, the guy I just mentioned, right now could look like the best quarterback in college football. Just you'll have to wait and see what he looks like when he comes back. But he was the best quarterback when he got hurt. 3 weeks ago. It's very fluid, though, and I think Klubnik has played himself out of the early first round. I think Nussmeier can get back in it.
Amazing. I mean, it doesn't seem usually, there's like 6 or 10 guys, oh, not 6 guys that you go, well, they could go. It doesn't seem like it doesn't like it would be a quarterback heavy draft, Paul. Am I right?
No, and the quarterback at Alabama, who was a 5-star coming into college 5 years ago, Ty Simpson, has probably played as well as anybody I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm giving you a cautious answer. I think they can try to. They don't have to try to lose all the games. I mean, they probably will. But the point being, you almost have to see what happens when some of these other guys come back. And I'm still looking at Nussmeier as a top 5, as a top 2 or 3 quarterback. So I'm not bailing on him yet.
Great stuff. Thank you, Paul. As always, I appreciate it. Enjoy the game tonight.
Michael, enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
You got it. That's Paul Feinbaum. So interesting stuff. And boy, he really lit up Belichick. The thing that jumped out at me about Belichick, imagine you leave your college team for a week to spend a week in Cape Cod. Now, listen, I'm sure as a 73-year-old man with a beautiful, 23, 24-year-old girlfriend, you want to spend time at a nice resort or a nice town where things are beautiful. But that your job dictates that you can't do that. Your job dictates that you just can't walk away. So if you want to spend time in Cape Cod with Jordan Hudson, then retire. You can't take on a job like this and disappear for a week. That just doesn't seem like the right thing to do. And I had written it down. I said I got to ask Paul about this. It's really unprecedented. So he's operating under his own rules, and I really believe that he took this job to have it for a couple of years, to have a stepping stone maybe back to the NFL, and then to hand it off to his son, who's his defensive coordinator. But if you're North Carolina, are you going to give the job to the son after the father has not performed the way you thought he was going to perform? Little odd. Little odd. So I'm going to get back to the Yankees in a moment. A couple of things that I struck my attention. So Connor McDavid, he's the best player in hockey, right? He signed a 2-year deal with Edmonton yesterday for $12.5 million a year. So 2 years, $25 million. Now, there's a player on his team, Leon Draisaitl, who makes $1 million more per year than Connor McDavid. And, I keep hearing, well, McDavid's doing this because he wants to, give them maneuverability and allow Edmonton to, win the Stanley Cup. Now, they've finished second to Florida for 2 years in a row. And I get it, it's great. It's inspiring that somebody would, leave so much money on the table in order to allow your team to win. Now, maybe there's a plan down the road. Maybe they expect the cap to go up exponentially in the NHL. So in 2 years, he could really cash in. But when you sign a deal like this, God forbid something could happen in those 2 years. You could break your leg, could rip your knee. You might not be the guy who's going to be able to cash in the way you think you can. That's 2 years you're putting there, and you're gambling on those 2 years. And to take less money than a teammate, and I understand it's awe-inspiring, but I said the same thing about Brunson when he did what he did. Now, how do you know that things are going to be exactly the same when your contract comes up again? How do you know that? I mean, Leon Rose might not be there when Brunson's ready to cash in again. They already fired the coach that made Brunson the star of the team. He's gone. So you're taking a chance by taking less money to give your team in a cap sport some maneuverability, but aren't you really taking too much of a chance? I mean, Connor McDavid should be the highest paid player in the NHL. And I give him credit. Maybe money doesn't mean that much to him. But to sign a 2-year bridge deal like that, you're really, really taking a chance, man. You're really, really taking a chance. And if I was his agent, I'd say, no, that's not the thing to do, man. You know what else is not the thing to do? I don't know if you guys saw this. So yesterday, LeBron James puts out a social media post, which caused all these unbelievable theories out on the internet. that he was going to have the decision two, right? And, there was a little teaser where he sat down in the same sort of setup as what he had at the Greenwich Boys and Girls Club when he had the original decision where he decided to go to Miami. Wearing the same red and white check shirt. So everybody thought, well, this is coming full circle. The decision that will be released today is going to be that, this will be his last year playing in the NBA. So that's what everybody was waiting with bated breath for. It comes out today. It's kind of embarrassing for him. Maybe it's a truckload of money, maybe. But I mean, the guy does have a truckload of money, but I don't want to get into somebody's wallet. But it's an ad for Hennessy. It's an ad for Hennessy. How he's going to be, he's going to drink Hennessy, and Hennessy's a big deal. But isn't that a little bit embarrassing for a guy who's probably a billionaire? Now, I don't know what Hennessy gave him. I don't know what kind of money they gave him. Maybe they gave him a stake in the company. Not quite sure. But you put your whole brand out there. I mean, what's he trying to, troll people? I guess that's it. You put your whole brand out there. You're LeBron James. You kind of should be above that. I don't know. And it's just you sitting there and throwing your whole reputation on the line for Hennessy. I don't get it. His advisor said, yeah, this is a good idea. Now, if you want to do an ad for Hennessy, go for it. George Clooney does ads for Nespresso, whatever the case may be. A lot of famous actors do ads in Europe for things that they wouldn't do ads for in the United States, just because they don't want to be embarrassed. But to say the decision to and make everybody think it was going to be some earth-shattering thing that you were going to actually announce today, and then you announce that you're partnering with Hennessy, and he's okay with that without being embarrassed? The only thing that was missing was Jim Gray. Because if you really wanted to say the decision to, Jim Gray is the guy who interviewed him at the Greenwich Boys and Girls Club. This was another guy, I don't know who he was, that was interviewing him. But I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. It came out right before the show. But to me, and I'm all about money. I don't hide it. I think money's very important. But when you have so much money, why would you do yourself like this? It's cringeworthy that anybody in his camp would think, yeah, this is a good idea. Let's do this, LeBron. This really makes you look good. No, it doesn't make him look good. It makes him look cheap. It makes him look as if he's for sale. And I would never, ever say anything about somebody taking money to endorse something. But how much money could it be to move the needle for LeBron James, who is probably a billionaire? And if it was just an ad for Hennessy, good. Collect your money. You deserve to make whatever and however much you want. But then to just, fashion it as the decision to, the future will change when this comes out, and it's an ad for Hennessy. LeBron, I'm your biggest supporter. There's very little bad things to say about you. You play your butt off. You're still an unbelievable player at your age after all these years in the league. I think you take too many shots from people because you're not Michael Jordan. All of that. I got your back. I'm privileged to have seen you play. But then when you do stuff like this, the naysayers are going to get louder, but I guess you don't care. You're above it. But if you're above the naysayers, aren't you above doing something like this? Such a cheap stunt? Maybe I'm 1,000% off base. And you certainly, as my co-host, you could correct me. You can call up. You could hit me up on X at Real Michael K. Say, Michael, you're wrong. It just came off as cringy. LeBron, you're better than that. There's no way that you need the money. You're better than that. 1-800-919-3776. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about everything. Yankees, the Blue Jays tonight, Game 3, do or die for the Yankees. They do, there's a Game 4. They don't, they die. They're done. The season's over. Cancun, whatever you want to say. And it would be a massive, massive disappointment if they got knocked out in the division series. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. They could win tonight. They have Cam Schlittler tomorrow. And then they have to solve the demons at Rogers Center That would be on Friday. 1-800-919-3776. Let's talk about it right here on the K Show on ESPN New York.
Tuesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Will the Yankees keep their season alive tonight?
You know, we feel like we've been playing with a lot on the line every single day. And we'll go into our, hitters meeting, and it's about win today. It's about going up and trying to win every pitch and keep it small, keep it simple.
What do you expect from Carlos Rodon? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Ballybet Sportsbook. Yo, Ballybet stacked for football season. When it comes to sportsbook apps, it's undefeated. Ballybet. Check out that brand new parlay zone. Here's the kickoff. Build your bets and place them right on your phone. What? Live bets, daily boosts, and promos. Increase your odds so you can win more dough. Touchdown! Ballybet's the play. Make game day more fun and download it today. Must be 21 plus, New York only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Ballybet Sportsbook and Casino. Download it.
There's nothing the voice in our head obsesses over like our health. But with over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help answer the questions like, why am I so tired all the time? How can I get better sleep? My friend was telling me about magnesium gummies she takes. How do I even know if my heart is work stress affected? It's time to up my cardio. If my mom has something, how will I find out? It's time to get some blood work done. A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right seat.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Just printed from the Erie Canal Press, the most coveted ticket, New York Lottery's $1 million raffle, hath arrived. 15 fortunate souls shall come into the fortune of a millionaire.
Translation, the $1 million raffle is here, and 15 winners are going to become millionaires. The New York Lottery commemorates 200 years of the Erie Canal with your best odds of winning $1 million. Limited tickets available. Ask your local retailer today. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could beat lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Having a good time here on the show. It's the quickest 2 hours of sports talk. I think you could all admit that. Because at the end of the 2 hours, it's like, I want more. But we have 2 hours a day. We have 10 hours a week. We try to bring it every single minute. And you guys are so helpful, too, because you're the co-host. You make it roar. You make the whole thing, kind of purr. I love it. Thank you for being a part of it. I never forget. Let's go to Austin in Washington. Austin.
Hey, Michael. How you
doing?
Hey, listen. PitchCom, okay, it uses encrypted radio transmissions, right, between catcher and pitcher. Is it not possible that the owner of the Jays, Rogers Telecom, would be the foremost expert in interpreting that signal.
What proof do you have to lay something that heavy on the Blue Jays, though?
Well, no proof, but is it not within the realm of possibility that a telecom company could have the wherewithal and ability to interpret that encrypted radio signal?
Okay, so let's say, Austin, that you have a point. All right, let's say that you have a point. And let's say that the Yankees think that you have a point. Then give signs the old-fashioned way. As I've said before, I am not going to indict the Blue Jays without any proof. That's unbelievable. Yeah, Rogers is a telecommunications company. I will tell you that. If something like that is ever proven, the punishment can't be big enough. But if the Yankees, and I'm not saying that they do, but if they think that that might be what's going on, shame on them to not find a workaround. They've had 9 games. Hey, listen, I was in Toronto for the 4-game sweep. They lost because they played terribly. Terribly. They lost because they played terribly. They kicked the ball around. They ran the bases poorly. They got beaten in every single way. Now, let's go along with the tapping into PitchCom. All right, let's go along with that. How does that impact why the Yankees aren't hitting? How? I mean, that might explain the offensive outburst for the Blue Jays, but how does it explain the Yankees not hitting? I think that we as a society, in everything now, we don't accept the obvious. We look for the nefarious. We look for the thing that can't possibly be true, but maybe it is. I mean, like Austin just said, well, I mean, I don't have proof, but it could be. Yeah, a lot of things could be true. A lot of things could be true. But unless you prove them, I mean, in a world outside of talk radio, you say something like that, you're going to get sued. You should, too. That's why you haven't seen anybody of any import from the Yankees actually come out and say, we think that this is happening. Because unless you have proof, you can't say stuff like that. So people could tiptoe around it. Things could be leaked to certain people in the baseball media, and they could put it out there as a possibility. This way, you can't get sued. But once again, if that is in fact the case, figure it out. There's a workaround to everything. Not everything is a conspiracy theory. Sometimes you just get your ass kicked. It's not a conspiracy theory. And if it is true, then the punishment can't be harsh enough. But unless you have proof, I don't want to hear it. Let's go to Daniel in Orlando. Daniel.
Hi there, Michael. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly. What's up?
How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, listen, this is this is actually the first time I've ever called in on any kind of radio show. So, but I've been looking forward to doing this for a while. I have some thoughts about the Yankees organization that have been building up over the course of several months, maybe even several years at this point.
All right, go for it.
But I just like to preface, thanks. I just like to preface by saying that I'm not a Yankee fan. I would say I'm actually more of a baseball fan. Mm-hmm. I tend to just root for interesting storylines. I keep track of all 30 MLB teams. Of course, that includes the Yankees. And on social media, as you probably know, more often than any other fan, I see Yankee fans. And most of the time, the Yankee fans are saying things like, how disappointed they are in the Yankees, how they should fire Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman and all that. And you're obviously well aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, right? What I don't understand is why there is such a strong rhetoric that the Yankees have been a failure of an organization ever since 2009. They have been a complete failure. And to me, that just seems so unnecessarily harsh because you could start at the top, right? Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman has done an unbelievable job, I think. He has brought in so many great free agents, and he has done everything he can. Maybe he could do more, but he's done a lot to make this team a World Series contender almost every year. And we could start back in 2017. I mean, he brought in the MVP winner, Giancarlo Stanton. He looked like he could have been one of the next great Yankee players of all time. And honestly, some people might still think that, but injuries held him back. And on top of everything, you could go year by year, 2017, 2018.
See, but here's the thing, Daniel. Here's why you feel this way. Because you're not a Yankee fan, right? So you can look at it objectively at 40,000 feet. And most fan bases would kill to have the success that the Yankees have. Every year, they have a legitimate chance to win a World Series. Every year. Now, I can hear Yankee fans even now in the back of my head, well, they haven't won since 2009. Get it? I'm not going to argue that. But if you're a fan of baseball, if you're a fan of the Reds, I'm not going to name all the fan bases that would love to be the Yankees. But Yankee fans, they're indoctrinated in a different way. Where the last two captains of the team have said, unless we win a World Series, it's a failure. So that's why I don't blame Yankee fans for thinking that way. That's the way they have been raised. But I saw something today. Buster Olney tweeted this out about 4 hours ago, and I thought it was very interesting. He writes, in George Steinbrenner's time as owner of the Yankees, he fostered the Steinbrenner doctrine. If you don't win the World Series, your season is a complete failure. Generations of Yankee fans believe that. One who apparently does not subscribe to the Steinbrenner doctrine, Hal Steinbrenner, current owner of the team. He has a more nuanced view of success. Now, Yankee fans don't want to hear that, but I will tell you this because I've thought about this a lot, and I actually had a discussion with somebody in the organization, and I said, the organization really has to change its messaging because you can't get angry at the fan base when the messaging is World Series or utter failure. And the guy made a point that I never thought of. He said, have you ever heard anybody in the Yankee organization in a front office position ever say that other than George Steinbrenner, who passed away in 2010? Have you heard anybody say that? And I said, well, yeah, Jeter and Judge. He said, the organization can't control what they think or what they say. If that's what they think, then that's fine. But the organization's not putting that out as a selling point. And he's right. You've never heard Hal Steinbrenner say it, ever. You've heard him say he's disappointed, and I think that's fair. If you don't win the championship with one of the top 3 payrolls in all of baseball, that is a disappointment. But to say it's a failure, I don't think it's a failure. I think it's a massive disappointment. They have not won with all the money they've spent since 2009. They have not won a World Series. But they have had success. They have had success. Met fans and Yankee fans, they're always warring with each other. But, Met fans must look at Yankee fans and roll their eyes. The Mets have not won a World Series since 1986. You do the math. That's almost 40 years. Next year it will be 40 years. The Yankees haven't won since 2009, 16 years, and it's like the world is coming to an end. So other teams, they look at the Yankees and the complaints of the fans and they go, hold my beer. Blue Jays haven't won since 93. Orioles haven't won in forever. Tampa Bay's never won. Now the Red Sox, I'm sure that sticks in the craw of Yankee fans. They won. They've won a lot. But they've also finished last a lot. The Guardians, that organization hasn't won since 48. The Tigers since 84. I mean, we could go chapter and verse. So 2009, if you're in the middle of it, seems like an awfully long time, especially when you've been raised under the premise of championship or bust. So you're looking at it as a bust. So that's why I'm not going to sit here and argue with the Yankee fans, because I understand what they're thinking. I get it. But I really believe that the messaging, I mean, the Yankee front office can't go to Judge and say, don't say that. He believes it. He picked it up from Jeter, and Jeter believed it. And Jeter truly did believe it, because he was lucky enough in his career, his amazing career, to win 5 times. And he was raised alongside Yogi, who used to flash 10 rings at him. But it's really a different world, everybody. It really is. It's not easy to win. Shooter in Stanford. Shooter.
Good afternoon, Michael.
Hello, Shooter.
How are you, brother?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm very worried, and I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
Carlos Rodon, his last start, Boone came out to the mound, asked him how he was feeling. I liked that. That was a nice thing to see. But then he proceeded to throw 8 balls in a row. Looking at his hand, he reminded me of like a little leaguer who's looking at their dad like, Dad, I can't throw strikes anymore, Dad. What am I going to do? Like, that's the guy we have on the mound tonight for us, a guy we pay a lot of money to come through in the clutch. And that's what happened last time he pitched. So Boone better have a tight leash on him tonight, because, I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I eat my words. And he pitches great. But I'm very worried.
Well, you know what? Like I said, everybody's saying that he pitched great against the Red Sox. I think he pitched okay. 3 runs in 6 innings is okay. And I know what Shooter's talking about. He threw 8 straight balls out of the strike zone. They took him out. But the one thing I will tell you about Carlos Rodon, knowing him over the last 3 years, he's not going to be afraid. You don't want a guy who's going to be afraid. He's going to go out and do the best that he can. And if he fails, it's because he failed, not because the moment was too big for him. He's a pretty tough guy, very accountable. And I think that he'll perform admirably. Whether or not he throws a gem, I have no idea. I think the Blue Jays are too hot right now to have somebody throw a gem against them. But if you can hold them to 2 runs in 7 innings, that's something that you take. Now, when we get back, I'm going to tell you my biggest concern about this game, and if the Yankees have it in them to win 3 in a row. My biggest concern. Hey, FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff with an offer you don't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. Pick a bet, bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style. FanDuel has you covered. Visit FanDuel.com/K to download the FanDuel app today and get started. 21 plus and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Tuesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Will the Yankees keep their season alive tonight?
You know, we feel like we've been playing with a lot on the line every single day. And we'll go into our, hitters meeting, and it's about win today. It's about going up and trying to win every pitch and keep it small, keep it simple.
What do you expect from Carlos Rodon? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Getting the right mattress helps you sleep at night. Getting the right price helps you sleep even better. At PC Richard & Son, they don't just sell you a mattress. Their experts use a 4-step fitting process to make sure your new bed fits you perfectly. The right fit, the right price, plus free delivery. It's what they do, only at PC Richard & Son. Free delivery on mattresses $199 and up. Excludes Manhattan. See stores for details.
Just printed from the Erie Canal Press, the most coveted ticket, New York Lottery's $1 million raffle, hath arrived. 15 fortunate souls shall come into the fortune of a millionaire.
Translation, the $1 million raffle is here, and 15 winners are going to become millionaires. The New York Lottery commemorates 200 years of the Erie Canal with your best odds of winning $1 million. Limited tickets available. Ask your local retailer today. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
There's nothing the voice in our head obsesses over like our health. But with over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help answer the questions like, why am I so tired all the time? How can I get better sleep? My friend was telling me about magnesium gummies she takes. How do I even know if my heart is work stress affected? It's time to up my cardio. If my mom has something, how would I find out? It's time to get some blood work done. A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
Ballybet Sportsbook. Yo, Ballybet stacked for football season. When it comes to sportsbook apps, it's undefeated. Ballybet. Check out that brand new parlay zone. Here's the kickoff. Build your bets and place them right on your phone. What? Live bets, daily boosts, and promos. Increase your odds so you can win more dough. Touchdown! Ballybet's the play. Make game day more fun and download it today.
Must be 21 plus, New York only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY.
Ballybet, Sportsbook and Casino.
Download it. From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has all the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats right at your fingertips, get personalized parlays built just for you, and with your fantasy teams synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check Kirk Herbstreit's pregame analysis first, before talking to your brother-in-law.
In this game, the key thing to watch will be the offensive line versus their front seven. If they can get pressure without blitzing, this could be a long night. Okay, Kirk. I know stuff.
Ooh, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
From the regular season to the Super Bowl, ESPN New York is your destination for football. We've got crazy fans.
If the Giants somehow beat the Cowboys, I'm going to take a dump on your head.
You can feel good because you're a damn football team. Expert analysis.
Marcus Spears joins us now. ESPN NFL analyst Damian Woody.
Mel Kiper Jr.
The Hall of Famer Steve Young.
He's kind of our resident general manager, Louis Riddick.
We got Mike Tannenbaum right now.
And all your fantasy and wagering needs. This is ESPN New York. We are football.
All right, so my biggest worry about the Yankees staging a comeback of 3 wins in a row. And I think if you follow this team, this is not breaking any new ground for you. Who's in their bullpen? Who are you getting big outs from? And it shows you the vagaries of baseball, right? Because you have 2 guys that you could say, okay, I trust them. One of them is Devin Williams, who most of the fan base want to run out of town. Now, if you didn't have him, you'd be in a lot of trouble. The other one is David Bednar. So it works out nice and tidy and easy if Rodon gives you 7 innings today. Okay, Devin Williams, David Bednar. But if he doesn't give you 7 innings, please tell me the answer. Tell me who you're going to. Tell me what's available for Aaron Boone. And, you know, I am of the opinion that the leash on Carlos Rodon has to be really short. But if you take him out early, where are you going? Who are you bringing in that you feel unerring confidence in? Jeff Weaver, I keep saying Jeff. Luke Weaver has not been reliable for a while. And for most of the season, it's been kind of up and down. He has his moments. He's faced 7 batters in the postseason. 6 of them have gotten on. The only out he got was in a mop-up role in Game 2, where he threw 1 pitch and got the final out of the bottom of the 8th inning. That's what you're getting from Luke Weaver. So does Boone think, yeah, I'm going to go to Weaver in the 7th? Well, I don't know if he's going to feel that way. Can he feel confident in Fernando Cruz, who I think's had a terrific season, but of late, he's not throwing strikes. And even when he gets out of jams, it's a tightrope act. So can you feel confident bringing him into a game where you have a 1-run lead in the 7th? We'll see, right? At this point, I think they might go to Camilo Doval, who for most of his Yankee tenure has been unpitchable, fallen out of favor. But he's pitched well in the postseason so far. And in game 1 of this series, he 6 up, 6 down in 2 innings. And I think he threw 20 pitches doing it. So very effective, very economical. But is a Yankee fan going to feel great if you see Doval coming out to relieve Rodon in the 7th inning? And it's set up beautifully for all the naysayers. Because I look at this bullpen situation and I go, wow, every decision that Boone could make is fraught with peril and second guessability. So let's say you bring in Doval and he gives up the house. You know, he was terrible all year. Why would you bring him in that spot? Let's say you bring in Weaver, who, if you don't have Weaver last year, you don't go to the World Series. Let's say you bring him in and he gives it up again. Oh, what kind of idiot. Didn't he see he's been terrible? He's been terrible in the postseason. Let's see you bring him in Cruz and he doesn't perform and he walks the ballpark. The same cries. So what is there in the bullpen that you're going to be in lockstep with Aaron Boone? Other than Devin Williams. And even if Devin Williams comes in and fails, the old chorus of he's been terrible all year and unreliable, why would you bring him in? Although he's pitched very well for the most part for the last month and a half. I don't think there's going to be any complaint with Bednar. He's your closer. But anybody else, Blackburn, people complained about Blackburn mopping up the other day. Warren, why'd you bring him in an inning when, there were runners on base? Why wouldn't you give him a clean inning? It's all set up for you to blame the guy you hate the most. It's all set up for you. And I feel for Boone a little bit. I think his options are very few. Because if Rodon doesn't pitch into the 7th inning and you've got to cover, 12 outs, even 9 outs, do you like the Yankees' chances? I want to read a tweet that I got from a guy who listens to the show, and I appreciate that. A little snarky a lot. But William Nicholas writes, Michael K. wants New York Yankee fans to be satisfied being the Gonzaga of MLB. It's not what I said, William. You know that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said that this is reality. You can accept it or not. And I said I don't blame Yankee fans for not accepting it. I never said that you should be satisfied, but I think that you take a 40,000-foot look at it and go, we got it pretty good. We get a chance to win a world championship every year. Don't be satisfied. Listen, it's all in your hands. If you can't take it anymore, stop rooting. It's so easy. If you're that dissatisfied, isn't that the easy way out? I never said be satisfied. I said take a look and realize that you're kind of in a better situation than almost every other fan base in baseball other than the Dodgers. But because you have been indoctrinated throughout the years to think either you win a World Series or the season's a failure, I can't blame you. How can I blame you? It's true. That's the way you were brought up. See, I wasn't brought up that way because when I started rooting for the Yankees, they stunk. So I do appreciate all the good times they've given us. I do appreciate it. I didn't know what to do in 77 and 78 when they finally won. I was used to losing, constant losing. Never a chance to win a World Series, ever. And when they got to the World Series in 76 and they got swept by the Reds, yeah, there's disappointment, but I didn't say, whoa, what a failure. And then they beat the Dodgers in 77 and 78. So I am of a different age than you. Most of the people I complain are in their 20s and their 30s. And some of them in their 40s where they really got to love the Yankees when they were winning the championships in 96, 8, 9, 2000. I get it. Not saying be satisfied. Don't be satisfied. You be you. But I think that maybe if you took a step back, you realize, oh, I got it better than most people. I got it better than most fan bases. And before the Dodgers won in 2020, they hadn't won since 81. Well, 88. They hadn't won since 88. And they won in the COVID year, and then they won last year. But they keep making the playoffs, and they keep taking their shot, and they have a chance every single year to win. That's what a fan base should demand the most. When's the last time the Yankees went into a season you said, well, they don't have a chance? I don't think you can answer because there hasn't been a time that I can remember. What? The Stump Merrill years. The Bucky Dent years. They didn't have a chance. The first year under Buck didn't have a chance, but then they slowly got better and they had a chance every single year. There's something to be said for that, don't you think? Now, I'm not giving you a postmortem. Yankees win tonight, we can dream, right? Then they have Schlittler coming out. Let's see if he can top what he did against the Red Sox. And that's against the Blue Jay bullpen. But this is going to be heavy lifting. It's not going to be easy to win 3 in a row against this Blue Jay team. This Blue Jay team is really good. Really good. And winning 3 in a row does also necessitate going back to Toronto and winning a game in that house of horrors for you. So sit back, see what Carlos Rodon does tonight against Shane Bieber. Should be fun. Should be fun. Pre-game on Yes starts at 7. Post-game right after the final out on Yes. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Have a great night. Enjoy the game. And we'll talk to you tomorrow at 1. Coming up, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
Tuesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Will the Yankees keep their season alive tonight?
We feel like